Well, welcome to that was like an echo going on. That's kind of cool. Well, welcome to another Saturday live stream. And I've got to shut my phone off because I have some sort of an echo thing going on. But I hope you enjoy this one. We haven't gotten a lot of machines out of the good state of Missouri. A lot of people say Missouri, but I think most of the people locally there say Missouri. So that's the way I pronounce it because I want to be correct. Like an echo going on. That's kind of cool. It's still echoing. Weird. Okay. So we're going to be doing an unboxing today on a machine that Cathy sent us from the state of Missouri. And if I understood correctly, and I talked to a lot of people, um, any of the leadership team can attest to the fact that have been part of, say, Facebook support. We get messages in from all over the world. So I'm having conversations on Facebook Messenger. I'm receiving texts. I'm receiving phone calls. I'm receiving emails. So my wires may be crossed. But Cathy had talked about, just really hoping that a miracle can happen at the workshop because this machine is really a machine that she loves. And it's got some major troubles going on with it right now as far as how it's functioning. And she apparently had looked at by someone else locally, maybe, and they were just like, got no idea. And that's what I'm hearing more and more of all the time is as some of the people that have been working on vintage machines even before me, and I've been doing this for 22 years. Folks that have been doing it much longer than that, 30 years or 40 years, they're retiring and or they're passing away. And so the field of people that are experts working on machines like this one that we're going to unbox today, that group is getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And I'm just hoping that others will latch on. Maybe we need to start like a movement across the country of an apprenticeship type um, opportunity of inviting folks in and teaching them the trade so that those younger folks than me can then pick it up and we won't lose that knowledge. Because that's really what it comes down to, isn't it? It's knowledge because people will send machines to the workshop all the time that have gone to the sewing vacs or the mom and pop sewing places. And they've got technicians on site there, but their focus really and their training is on the newer electronic computerized machines. And when they get a hold of one of these, they're like, a lot of weird mechanical stuff going on here, where a lot of those mechanical functions on the newer machines are being controlled by the equivalent of a computer motherboard. It's kind of like autopilot on an aircraft. It's controlling all of the functions that we as vintage technician restorers, we have to control those things mechanically through adjustments. We're the computer, as is the newer machines have the computer boards that are controlling a lot of those functions. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens, right? I don't plan on stopping this anytime soon, but you never know. So let me take a look at the chat real quick and see who I can say good morning to. And yes, I've got my fun shirt on. You may have seen me if you were in the the live stream right at the very beginning. I kind of did a little dance thing to the polka music, and I've got my work hard, play hard shirt on today because it's Saturday, right? I got to play hard and work hard. All right, let me say some good mornings real quick. Hold on a second. All right. Put on my cool blue glasses so I can see all the names. Okay. So good morning to Susie from the great state of Minnesota. Good morning to my dear friend Roz from the great state of Michigan. Great to see you, Roz. Good morning to Emma. And I gotta give a little bit of praise. Everyone that takes a break on their Saturday. Weekends are busy, right? You're either a mom and dad or you're a grandmother or grandfather or you just got a busy life all the time. And the weekend isn't any different. The weekend is still run, 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 rush, 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 run this errand, go there, go there, go here. And you take a break from all of that busyness to join us for these live streams. And you have no idea how grateful I am for that. And also, others are grateful as well because they love to see you here. You're part of our family, right? You're part of our family. And when we don't see a family member for a while, we're like, where's that person? It's kind of like Mindy. Mindy was with us, but she was sitting in the shadows. And if any of you are really new to this group and you're saying, who's Mindy? What's Mindy? Mindy is a dear friend. Originally, when she would join the premieres before I started live streaming, she appeared in the live chat as Super B. Super B. That's at least that's what I called her, and many others called her that as well. And all of a sudden, she created a new profile for YouTube, and it had her name, Mindy. And but then we didn't see Mindy for a while, and we're like, "Where's Mindy?" She lives out in Nevada, out in Las Vegas, and she sent me a private note that I shared with two of my leaders, Emma and Paula, because Mindy referenced them. And if you were in the last premiere, you're like, "We already know this, Scott. You already told us." But those of you that weren't there, Mindy sent me a real nice email, and she said, I haven't forgotten about you guys. I haven't abandoned you. I've been sitting in the shadows. And sitting in the shadows means that a person is joining the live stream, but they didn't step into the live chat for whatever reason. They're either not comfortable doing it, they're not ready. And many of our regulars, like some of the people I just greeted and welcomed, they originally were sitting in the shadows. And then all of a sudden they decided, okay, it's time. It's time to step out of the shadows into the and say, yo, I'm here. And so many of you did that. Many of you now are regulars in the chat, which is awesome because a number of great friendships have been forged that way. A number of you have contacted each other privately. You become good friends. You become fellow soloists, swapping stories. And it's just wonderful to have that special circle, isn't it? So as we begin this live stream, we may have some new folks. And I'm always busy over here with the unboxing or doing something else with a machine if I'm demonstrating it. And thank goodness for leaders like Emma and Paula and Veronica and Michelle and Sunny and who else am I forgetting? Oh my goodness, Bill. Bill doesn't make it to these very often anymore because he's busy doing other things. But whenever he does, it's always a treat, isn't it? So one of the leaders that is in the live stream, I'm sure, and or one of the other members of our family will make you feel welcome if you're brand new to this. Our philosophy in the workshop really is kind of work hard, play hard. We take the business of taking care of our vintage sewing machines very seriously. We have a lot of fun doing it. The environment of the workshop is more of a playroom than it is a workshop. I try to bring a lot of fun. I try to be goofy sometimes. I try to, do silly things. We do silly things together sometimes. And people love having fun and learning at the same time. And that's what the workshop is all about, is it's learning. And I'm not the only teacher. Any of you that are regulars in the live stream right now can attest to the fact that we teach each other. We learn from each other. We all have our own toolboxes with tools of experience and knowledge, and we freely share that. And that's different from some of the other groups that I've been told are out there, like some of the Facebook groups where they've got a group of teachers, and you better watch out if you are presumptuous enough to think that you can teach the teacher. That's not like that here. Uh, I learn from you each and every time we get together and we share information back and forth. And people love that because it's not an environment where you have to feel like, oh, they're going to make me feel dumb or they're going to make me feel like I don't know anything. We're all constantly learning. We're all constantly adding new things to our toolboxes. And that's the wonder of the workshop, isn't it? Any of you that have had the opportunity to visit the workshop know what I'm talking about. We sit down and it's not, sitting with some sort of a big shot. I'm not a big shot. We're all learning from each other. And I I could blah, blah, blah all day long. You know that. So I'm going to stop blah, blah, blah. I'm going to welcome some more folks that are in the live chat right now. And then we're going to get opening up on this machine. And if you heard what kind of music I was playing at the beginning of this live stream, you might already have a suspicion as far as the country of origin for the machine that we're going to be unboxing today. Listen to the music again, and it'll give you a big clue as to the country of origin for this machine, okay? All right, let me take a look here. Who else did I not welcome? Oh, and also a kudos to Emma. And this may be true of others as well, but I'm aware of this with Emma. Emma is actually joining us from work right now. She's able to find little gap points in her day in the morning sometimes where she can break away for a second or multitask. And so Emma is actually at work right now. Shh. And she's joining us for part of the live stream at least. And that's always great, isn't it? So let me see who else is here. So I've already said hello to Roz. I've already said hello to Emma. I've already said hello to Sue from the great state of Minnesota. And it looks like we also have Christina joining us from Brazil as well. So I don't know if Emma will have time since she's multitasking already, but if someone else is feeling really adventurous on this Saturday morning and you know how to use Google Translate, if someone wants to help Christina with translating back and forth, kind of sharing with us what is Christina saying, and then communicating back with Christina, just go to Google Translate, pull up one of those little blocks where you can type it in English, and then it'll translate it to Portuguese. Portuguese is what they speak in Brazil, and that's where Christina is from. If you didn't know that, Christina is joining us all the way from Brazil. And we have folks from around the world that join us regularly, so that's really cool. All right. Oh, and welcome to Renee as well. Renee is a local gal, and I actually have met her locally. I know her dad as well, and it's great to always have local folks join us as well. So welcome to Renee as well. All right, some more music to give you some clues here. Here we go. Big clue as far as the country of origin. All right, let's get going on this box. So I'll also let you guys know. Well, and Roz is on it right away and exactly right. Roz typed into the live chat. I could just see it. She said, Germany? Germany. Germany. Deutschland. If you want to say it in German, Germany is Deutschland. Deutschland. Yeah. Does anyone like the polka? You always have polka music at all like festive occasions because it's one of those dances that anyone can do it. You just bounce. Polka is really bouncing, isn't it? You could throw a little footwork there too, maybe. Oh. Anyone that says we don't have fun has never been a part of a live stream. All right, let's put on some more. Now, I don't know a lot. I don't know a lot about the state of Missouri, or Missouri as they say it locally. But if someone wants to look up the city that Cathy is from and type in the chat, hold on a second. Got to turn the volume down for a second because I'm having to shout. If anyone for fun wants to look up some interesting information on the city that Cathy is from, Cathy is the owner of the machine we're unboxing today. That would really be cool because I know nothing about Springfield, Missouri. Springfield, Missouri. So if anyone wants to look up some interesting facts on Springfield, Missouri, that would be great. And if you're saying Missouri, what? Missouri, Missouri, Springfield, Missouri is where this machine traveled from. I don't even know how far it is. If anyone wants to kind of tag team and put something interesting in there about Springfield, Missouri, and then also how far is it from Springfield, Missouri? I can't even talk. How far is it from Springfield, Missouri, to Oconto, Wisconsin? That would be fun too, because I don't know how many miles it is. So if someone wants to do that, type it in the live chat. And if you help me out with stuff like this and you reach out afterwards and you say, hey, you remember I helped you with such and such, looking up that information that you wanted? I'll send you something special, guaranteed. All right? Yeah. Okay. All right, let's get opening this. And again, whenever you're opening a box, whether you get it from Amazon or wherever it's coming from, always kind of press down on the top. If you're going to be opening up the flaps on top, just push down and see how much clearance you have, because you don't want to be cutting in there with an X-Acto knife like this and then cut into whatever it is that you ordered. So, and I know that that's common sense, but sometimes people get excited, they get anxious, and they don't think about that. They don't think about the fact that there's something valuable on the other side, and they maybe make the blade too long. Most of these, you can adjust the blade. You can make it a little bit, let's see, you make it really short like that. You can make it longer, 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 longer. So, always adjust the blade length as well. If you're cutting into a box, any kind of box, just so you don't damage the stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, thank you. I'm just looking at this real quick. So Susie said this box right here traveled over 700 miles. Over 700 miles. Can you imagine? Let's see here. From Oconto, population. Oh, wow. So Springfield's a pretty big city. Susie's saying it's over 160,000 people. Compared to Oconto, we have less than 5,000. We have less than 5,000 people in Oconto, and Springfield is almost like 170,000 people. That's huge. A very big city, right? Very big city. Thank you to Susie and Roz. They both are digging into this for us, because isn't it fun to learn more stuff about where these machines are coming from? We just did another unboxing recently, and that came from a totally different state. And I've got more machines waiting in my overflow area to come on here and to be unboxed as well. We have one from the state of Oregon that I'll probably be unboxing this week, that came from a gentleman that's a cross-country, he's a cross-country trucker, and he packed it in one state, his vintage sewing machine, and then I think he hauled it on his truck a couple hundred miles or maybe further, and then he shipped it from another state because he's a cross-country trucker. And many of you in your family circles or your circles of influence or whatever, you probably have people in your family that have been truck drivers, maybe regional, maybe local, or maybe cross-country, like this other guy is that will be doing an unboxing on his machine pretty soon. So that is a big city, big city. All right, let me give you a look inside of this box. Also, welcome to G. Alexander. G. Alexander has also joined us this morning. So this is our first glimpse inside of the box here. And you can see that Cathy used a combination of, it's kind of a softer style styrofoam. And we've got some bubble wrap, layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of bubble wrap as we're going down here. And then I can see the machine is right around in that area right there. So we'll be getting to that shortly. But you know, the one thing that I really appreciate is the investment and the time that a customer takes. Many customers will pack the machine themselves. They'll pack the machine themselves, and they also make the investment of shipping the machine here. They have to pay to get the machine shipped back. And can you imagine, Susie typed in there that from Springfield, Missouri to Oconto is right around 700 plus miles. Can you imagine between Springfield, Missouri and Oconto, how many service locations there are, sewing places that, you know, they advertise, hey, we do sewing machine repairs or servicing. Can you imagine how many there are between Springfield, Missouri and Oconto, Wisconsin? Lots and lots and lots of them, over 700 miles. And, you know, the sewing backs and all the other locations. So when a customer takes the time and makes the investment to ship it all the way here to Oconto, Wisconsin, again, a little town, a little city of less than 5,000, shipping it from a big city of what did Susie and Ross say? Like almost 180,000 people. So I'm really humbled by that. I'm really honored. But when you pour your passion into something, right? When you love doing what you do and people are like, yeah, I want to be a part of that. And then we ultimately will premiere that machine on this channel as well, so they can see their machine do the dance before it ever gets back to Springfield, Missouri. That's the cool stuff, isn't it? A lot of other folks don't take the time to do that. But we do in our classroom, because then when we see that machine and we talk about that machine and we share things back and forth about that machine, all of a sudden it's a learning environment that we can have fun in too. And we can build our base of knowledge up. Yeah. All right. So enough of that. All right. So more polka music for our German machine that's hiding inside of this box. Yes. It's a vintage polka song, kind of. Yeah, it is. Ah, what have we here? Now, those of you that follow me very closely already know what I'm going to say, and it's not to be critical of Cathy, it's to build our base of knowledge. So if we're shipping something, we know the best way to possibly do it to reduce the possibility of damage, right? So foot controllers like this one, which is really kind of cool. It's like a bus pedal almost, isn't it? I love it. So the deal with foot controllers is that they have a lot of delicate parts inside of them. So if you ship a foot controller like this, stretch wrap it, put bubble wrap around it, and then tuck it into the box. That way it kind of immobilizes this so that it's not being jostled around and potentially could get damaged. Because if a machine travels over 700 miles and then somehow the foot controller gets damaged, then I have to scramble to try to find a compatible foot controller, especially one like this machine, because it has such a unique plug-in. You can see that right there. It's not a standard plug-in. So Cathy has done a really good job of packing this machine, but we can always do better, right? We can always do better. That's one of the principles of this workshop. I'm never happy with the way things are. I always want to do things better. You know, the way I service machines, the way I restore machines, the way I paint machines, all of those processes. I have a very, very high standard that's recognized worldwide, but I can always make it better. So that's just a suggestion on foot controllers. If you're shipping them, if you're buying a machine and you're having somebody ship it to you, you can always point them to this YouTube channel and say, go to the playlist where Scott shows a variety of ways to pack vintage sewing machines so that they can travel not only hundreds of miles, but thousands of miles and arrive absolutely perfect with no damage. Okay? So, but really a neat foot controller. This is fun, isn't it? Let me set this to the side. All right, let me put some more music on and we'll keep on trucking here. Keep on trucking in a sense. And I should also say, Cathy and I talked early this morning, and unfortunately, she's not able to join us for this live stream, but I know she's going to watch it later. So the owner wanted to be here to watch this unboxing, but she couldn't make it. So that happens sometimes, doesn't it? Like I said, the weekends can get real busy. I wish we had smell-o-vision, because the inside of this box smells so nice. It's so clean smelling. It smells like someone that has just gone through their house and they deep cleaned their kitchen floors and they vacuumed their carpets and they dusted things and all that kind of stuff. And you walk into the house and right away when you walk into the house, you're just like, boy, this person keeps a clean house. I'm glad they're not coming to visit me because they'd be seeing all the dust and the dog hair or the cat hair or whatever it is. But this box smells so good. Just like that machine. Remember that machine way back when that the real nice lady from New York sent here? And then she gave me, where is it? She makes soaps in her apartment in New York. I want to say she might have been from Brooklyn, New York. And I complimented her on how wonderful her box smelled that her machine came in. And she ended up shipping me a bunch of this really cool soap. And I keep it in the workshop because it's almost like potpourri. And you can see this one is St. John's. Does that say St. John's wort, doesn't it? I have no idea what that means, but I know it smells really good. St. John's wort. Yeah, W-O-R-T. So if any of you are in the live chat are really knowledgeable about soaps, you could tell us more. What is St. John's wort? W-O-R-T. I don't know. I'm assuming it's a wort that came from St. John's, but, you know, that shows my level of knowledge in the soap space. I got nothing. Oh, look at, hey, thank you, Roz. So there you go, folks. The wort thing or whatever is an herb, apparently. It's an herb. So herbs are good for you, right? Some people eat them, and I'm guessing it's probably good for your skin if you use a soap that has St. John's wort in it. Yeah. Cool. See what I'm saying? We learn from each other. I love it. Oh, I forgot to ring the bell. All right. So if you join the live stream after I ring the bell, then you have to go to one of our leadership team, and their names in the live chat will have a wrench. They'll have a wrench. And that way you know when you go to them, okay, they can give me a late pass. And that way you don't have to go to summer school. No one wants to go to summer school. No one wants to do that. All right, let's keep working on this. Wow. That's serious right there. Look at the thickness of that. And these are slid in by Cathy to protect the machine from a side impact. As they're, imagine how many hands touch this box traveling those 700 plus miles from Springfield, Missouri, all the way to Oconto, Wisconsin. Imagine the number of times that they tossed it from one truck to another, or on a landing dock, or in the back of, a truck that has a metal bed. And so the more protection you can give to your vintage machine, if you're sending it to the workshop, the better you're going to end up as far as that machine arriving safely. So this is fabulous. And this is not the super rigid styrofoam. This has kind of a little bit of a give to it, kind of a flux. So it's going to provide some real good cushion and protection as well. So really a good choice. And I believe Roz is acting as our translator today. So thank you to Roz for doing that, so that Christina feels like she's even more a part of this live stream, and we can understand and enjoy what she is sharing in her native language of Portuguese. I forget. Can someone help me out real quick? I forget. What is the distance? Let me mute this real quick. What is the distance from Brazil? And I know Brazil's big, but what is the approximate distance from Brazil to maybe where you live? Because I would say from Brazil to Oconto, Wisconsin, where the workshop is. But Roz lives in Michigan, and Susie lives in Minnesota. So you just pick a state, pick whatever state, maybe the state that you're from or whatever, and type in the chat, how far is it from Brazil to whatever state you want to pick? It could be the workshop. It could be where Roz is in Michigan. It could be Susie over in Minnesota. It could be Emma down in Florida, or Paula down in Florida, or any of our other folks, wherever they live. Yeah, I'd be curious. I don't remember how far it is. I know it's more than 100 miles. Yeah. Another one of these on the front side of it. So any side impacts, you get a disgruntled USPS employee or something like that that's having a real bad day, and they go, I don't want to move that stupid box, and they give it a punch or they give it a kick. It's not going to matter, because this stuff is, this is like, they could put this on armored cars practically, and it would provide a lot of protection. So really a good choice. Oh, thank you, Susie. So Susie's saying from Brazil to Oconto, Wisconsin is almost 4,000 nautical miles. Almost 4,000 miles. That's quite a distance. Now we have sent and received machines from that distance or greater. We've had machines come in from Japan. We've had machines go to Germany. We've had machines go to Australia. We just had a machine, as many of you know, that's waiting to get up to the workbench, that was shipped all the way from London, England. So the world is big, and 4,000 nautical miles is crazy, right? That's a big distance. But with our little circle and our family, the miles just kind of shrink, don't they? It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter as much, I should say. But it really is great that Christina joins us all the way from Brazil, because I have no idea what the local time is right now, what the local time is in Brazil, it could be late in the evening, like in Europe right now. I think it's getting to be evening time over where my friend Alex Askaroff is over there in England. What does anyone know what the local time? What is the local time in Brazil right now? Does anyone know the local time in Brazil? Just curious. All right, what else do we have? Oh yeah. Susie, so is that PM or AM? Is it 12 o'clock at night? Or is it only a little bit afternoon? Because that would only mean that there's between us and Brazil that there's only 2 hours difference about. Because it's a little bit after 10 right now, according to my watch. So, are they, oh, okay. So Susie typed PM, but it's actually AM. So right now, Christina is joining us, and it's after midnight in Brazil, if I understand correctly. If anyone wants to be a kind of a fact checker and just confirm that, that would be great. But whatever time it is, we're grateful that she's here, and I'm very grateful that Roz is taking on the task of translating for us today. So that's really cool. Thank you, Roz. Okay, so yeah, it's Roz. Roz just confirmed it. Christina, right now, it's after midnight by her, and she could be sleeping or she could be doing whatever. She could be out bowling. And she's joined us for this live stream, so that's very cool. Very cool. Oh, and Susie. No, Raj just typed and Susie. Is Susie helping to translate too? I didn't know that. Thank you. Thank you both to you ladies, however you're helping. Oh, okay. Okay. See that? I saw. Thank you to Susie, and I thought Roz was helping to translate as well, but thank you to Susie and anyone else that is just interacting with Christina. You can imagine if you were joining a live stream that was being based in Brazil, how you would be maybe just a little bit nervous because you're interacting with a group. Their language is not your native language. And Christina has been with us for some time, coming back. That's a testimony to how you make her feel welcome, how she's a part of us. She's an important part of us, even though she's like 4,000 miles away or whatever that is. So thank you to Susie, Ross. Thank you to all of you for making all of our family members feel welcome, especially those that are outside of the U.S. and English is not their native language. And they don't have to just sit back in the shadows. They can step into the light, become part of the live chat, and we can understand what they're saying and they can understand what we're saying. Isn't that cool? Yeah, I love it. Well, good. I'm glad Christina likes the music, Susie. I'm going to keep the music going too. Keep the music going. Here's another one. And if any of you are sitting right now or you're lounging and you're watching this live stream, I would encourage you to get up and stretch your legs a little bit. Yeah. I'm stretching my legs. Come on. Get up. All right, the hands. Get your arms going. All right, I'll get back to work. You guys can keep dancing if you want. All right, so we're making progress. We're making progress down here, slow but sure. There's our machine. right there. We're almost to it. Oh, I almost knocked down my little Oompa Loompa guy. Oops. So this is our machine right here. I'm going to check in the box to make sure I didn't leave anything behind, and then we'll get working on this. And you can see Cathy has done a brilliant job of building that cocoon around the machine. And if any of you send a machine to the workshop and I ship it back to you, your machine is going to look similar to this when it arrives at your location. So be patient with yourself. Get yourself a cup of coffee, a tea, a glass of wine, and get ready to spend some time going through all of these layers. Yeah, be patient. All right, let me show you inside of the box. So Cathy shipped the machine laying on its side. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as you obviously put the delicate controls in that on the front of the machine facing up. And I think that's the way she had it. I couldn't quite tell, but I'm sure she did. She's a smart lady. And then you can see down here we have more bubble wrap, a little bed of bubble wrap. And then underneath that we have another one of these real thick pieces of this softer styrofoam stuff to create a real nice cushy ride that's 700 miles plus coming all the way to the workshop. And you can see the way you can tell it's softer. I don't know if you'll be able to see it through the camera. I think you can, but I can actually push into it with my finger like so, and I can leave a little mark right there. See that? So I like that stuff. This styrofoam is a lot better than some of the other styrofoams that will sometimes come to the workshop. Probably do it easier with my thumb, can't I? You see how it kind of gives a little bit? It's not rigid, it doesn't crack, it doesn't splinter. This stuff is a little bit on the softer side, and you can see that by the 3 little dimples that I just put into it right here. Yeah, so I'm not totally anti-styrofoam. There are certain types of styrofoam that will allow some give and afford better protection. The problem with the real rigid white stuff that you see a lot of is it splinters. And if it takes a hit, like on the side or something like that, it's likely to crack. This stuff doesn't crack because it's got a little bit of a sponginess to it. Yeah, a little bit of a sponginess. Cool. All right. Emma, somebody wants to send Emma a cup of coffee. It sounds like she could use it right about now. Emma needs coffee. Help her out. All right, let's get this out of the way now. Also, I've got to give kudos to Cathy. If you look at the corrugation thickness of this box, it's not a cheapy box. I've gotten some machines that arrived at the workshop over the years where, you know, those really crummy corrugated boxes they ship toilet paper in and paper towel, and it's just like real spongy and blah, 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 blah. It's really awful stuff. This is not that. This is a nice quality box. And if you want to ship with a box, go ahead and do it, but just pick a good quality corrugated type box that's going to provide good protection. All right, let's get this out of the way, and we'll get our machine back up on the workbench so we can see what the heck this thing is. Oh, I got to show you what I'm doing on the other workbench too. Hold on a second. So on the other workbench, I'm just going to tell you real quick, and then I'll show you. I've got another German sewing machine. It's going to be very different. This one, putting back up on the workbench now. This one, see how it's not sitting level? I'm going to lay it back down because I don't want it to tip over and land on the doctor and his wife. Because they're right over here. You can see them. If you don't know who I'm talking about, these two folks right here. This machine tips over. It's going to crush the doctor's wife or the doctor. Or it's going to crush my Rolls Royce or hurt my little cow. So we'll leave it laying down for right now. So on the other workbench, and I actually had another machine on this workbench, a 21A Husqvarna that is from a local lady in Wisconsin. And I had to take it off, obviously, so we could do this unboxing today. If you're looking at the live chat, look at Roz's comment. She says, please do not crush the doctor's wife. Those of you that don't know, I didn't look at all the chat because we have a lot of chat going on right now, which is fantastic. But if you don't know it, Roz, who's in the live chat right now, 4th generation quilter, Roz is the wife of a doctor. So she's got a certain fondness towards be nice to doctors' wives because those doctors are great doctors because of their great wives, right? Yeah, they are. Like they always say, behind a great guy is probably a greater woman, right? I got to say that. Behind a great guy is probably a greater woman. And I've never met Roz face to face, but I feel like I know her very, very well because she's been a part of our family so long. She's a doctor's wife. So she's like, okay, Scott, be nice to this gal. Be nice to this gal because this gal right here, this one, can make or break this guy right over here. Yeah. So this is Roz. This guy probably doesn't look anything like Roz's husband, but just for sake of argument, this is Roz's husband right here. And this is Roz. Yeah. So we're not going to drop anything on you, Roz, I promise, okay? Yeah. All right. So on the other workbench, let me put some more music on first. Hold on a second. Oh, it's fun. We have too much fun. Yes, we do. Oh yeah, this is polka. So on the other workbench, all the way from the great state of South Carolina, is a machine that was sent to me by Paula Dorn, D-O-R-N, Paula Dorn, and she comes from Abbeville, South Carolina. I know nothing about South Carolina other than there was a Singer plant in Anderson, South Carolina. So if anyone wants to get brownie points right now from me and from the leaders that are in the live stream right now, tell me the distance from Anderson, South Carolina, where there was a Singer plant that made all of the Slant-O-Matics and any of the other Singer machines that had that A after the model number, 301As, all those other cool Slant-O-Matic machines. The distance from Anderson, South Carolina to Abbeville, South Carolina. And let me spell it. Abbeville. Abbeville, South Carolina. I'm just curious. I'm curious how close Paula Dorn lives to where that Singer plant was operating in Anderson, South Carolina. Aren't you? I'm just curious. Yeah. But this is a great Pfaff 230. It's going to have a lot of the same features of, say, the Pfaff 332 and some of those other machines that generate a lot of really cool decorative type sewing. But I got some work to do first. You can see right now the motor is having some trouble with wiring. Got to split this open and rewire the motor, and then get this all set up and get it shipped back out to Abbeville, South Carolina. Yeah. And if you didn't know, the motors on a lot of these models similar to this, the 332s and the 230s, etc., are going to have a 1.3 amp motor. Very, very nice motor. But here's the secret about these motors. They were not made in Germany. They were made by Westinghouse in the US and then put on the machines. Yeah. Cool. All right. All right, back to our unboxing. Bump, 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 bump. Holy mackerel. So, Susie, we're talking about Paula Dorn lives only about 30 miles away from that old Singer plant. I'm curious if there's anything standing of that Singer plant. All of you probably remember when we did that fundraiser. We did that fundraiser for the History Museum down in South Bend, Indiana. And down in South Bend, Indiana, there was a Singer cabinet factory down there. And that Singer cabinet factory, many of you will remember, I talked about the stats of that factory down in South Bend, Indiana. And it would make 10,000 beautiful cabinets for sewing machines a day, or about 2 million a year. You guys remember that? You remember numbers probably better than I do. And that factory down in South Bend was still standing, where I was able to take you around it, show you the outside of the building. I was able to collect up a bunch of bricks with the permission of the caretaker of that abandoned Singer cabinet factory down in South Bend, Indiana. And then many of you that are in the live chat right now made donations to help out that history museum down in South Bend, Indiana. We raised about $11,000 in 10 days. $11,000 in 10 days to help out the history museum down in South Bend, Indiana. And also, the last day I was going to be there, you guys remember this? The last day I was going to be there, I met the caretaker. He was out by the dumpster throwing some stuff away, and he took us through the inside a part of that factory. So we were able to actually be inside of the building that was producing those 10,000 cabinets a day, 2 million cabinets a year, and actually get an inside look. I never thought that would happen. I never thought it would happen, but it did. So I'm just curious. Paula Dorn only lives 30 miles, a little bit more than 30 miles away from the old plant, the Singer plant that was in Anderson, South Carolina. I wonder if any of it's standing anymore. Maybe instead of shipping this machine back, maybe I should load it into my car and drive out there. If the factory is still standing, then I could show you guys the Anderson, South Carolina factory, because a lot of you have machines that were made at that factory in Anderson, South Carolina. I'll have to think about that. I don't know if I have time, because driving from Oconto, Wisconsin to Anderson, South Carolina, what is that? That's got to be like 1,000 miles, right? That would probably take me a couple of days, maybe longer. I don't think I wish I did. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. All right, more polka music. More polka music. That's not polka music. No way. No way. That's not. That is not polka music. What? No way. Come on. Mr. Bean, cut the music. Why would that be under polka? Did that sound like polka music to you? Not even close. That was weird. All right, what else do we have? All right, somebody in the live chat, if you would. Somebody in the live chat, I'm going to mention I'm going to mention the different genres. I hope I'm saying that right. The different music genres that are on YouTube. And this is music that they give me that I can play for you, and I'm not going to get into trouble. I'm not going to violate someone's copyright or their whatever. So I'm going to mention the different genres that I have a choice of. You pick the genre, and then I'll play that style of music for the rest of this live stream. Okay? So get ready. Listen carefully. I'm going to mention them, and then you pick the genre. Type it in the chat. If you're the first one to type it in the chat, that's the genre that I will play. Genre. The music, the type of music. Yeah. Okay. So I have alternate punk. I've got ambient. I've got children's. I've got cinematic. I've got classical. I've got country and folk. I've got dance and electric. I've got hip hop and rap. I've got holiday. I've got jazz and blues. I've got pop. I've got R&B soul. I've got reggae, and I've got rock. So out of all of those genres or whatever, if you want to type in the chat what you like to. Okay, so I've got two already. Susie popped in right away. Roz popped in right away with classical. So I'm going to put classical on now. Get ready. Here we go. And this may be classical a little bit. It may not be Vivaldi, the Four Seasons. It may not be Mozart. It might not be Bach, but they consider it classical. So if you have an issue with what YouTube considers classical, send them a letter or an email and say, hey, get it right, guys. Get it right. Would you? Please. And this one is called Kiss the Heavens. Kiss the Heavens. Yeah, this is kind of classical. Yeah. All right, let's get going on the rest of this unboxing. What I was just getting is some painter's tape. I carefully, surgically cut in there. The doctor's been working with me. He's been saying, okay, work on your scalpel and your scissor technique, Scott. So I carefully cut in to the point where the model number is showing on the front of this German sewing machine. I'm going to be naughty, and I'm going to put a little piece of painter's tape over the top of the model number. So when we take it all the way down and there's the machine, there'll be a little bit more suspense as far as what model this machine is. All right. All right, more classical music. So Cathy has done a good job Cathy's done a very good job of, there we go. She's done a very good job of creating a nice cocoon around this German machine. I would recommend, and again, it's back to our Kanai factor. If anyone in the live chat right now, or anyone that is in the shadows wants to join the live chat, and type in the live chat, what does Kanai mean? C-A-N-I. It's our commitment to making things better all the time. But what does it mean? What does it mean? So what I would recommend is put a few more layers of bubble wrap on here, and then over the top, similar to what Cathy did here, I would, on a machine like this, I would go about 4 to 6 layers of bubble wrap, and then strap it down with stretch wrap, and then over the top of that, add packing tape. And Cathy did a really good job, but we're always committed to making things better, right? So that's what I'm talking about with the Kanai factor. And someone, I'm sure, probably already typed it in. Yep, Susie did. Constant and never-ending improvement. Constant and never-ending improvement. Exactly right. That means that tomorrow we're going to be better than yesterday, and the next day we're going to be better than the day before. And if you follow that, then you already had your coffee. It basically means we're always improving things in the workshop. Our packing methods, our service methods, my restoration techniques and everything else, my painting techniques down at the paint shop. I'm always trying to make things better and better and better and better and better. Raise that bar higher. Don't be satisfied with mediocrity. Don't be satisfied with mediocrity. Yeah. Oh, and that ended right at the end of the song. I didn't plan that. That was cool. That was cool. And this song that's playing right now is a piano piece. And I recently got a message from somebody from Canada. I think they were around, where were they from? Alberta, Canada, maybe? And they said, Scott, I'm mad at you. I said, wait a second. Wait, let me do this. That's probably easier. I said, why are you mad at me? Why are you contacting me from Alberta, Canada? And why are you mad at me? They said, you haven't done a video or a live stream of you playing piano for a long time. What's up? Did you sell your piano? Was it I don't know, did you not make payments on it and they came and picked it up? I said, no, it's still there. I just haven't thought about it. I just haven't taken time. So I'm going to take time over the next month. I'm going to give myself a month, and you'll see a live stream, or maybe maybe I should live stream it, but I'll play some more piano music for you. But right now I'm going to let you listen to this one. It's beautiful. This one right now has a really interesting title. It's called Ceremonial Library. Ceremonial Library. Yeah, it's lovely. Ceremonial Library. What a clever song title, huh? What a clever song title. All right, I'm going to play one more. I'll put another song on. And give you a closer look at what we have so far as removing packing materials. So you can begin to make out the form of the machine a little bit. See, we have a dial over here. There you can see the name right there. And you'd be able to see the number if I hadn't been naughty. Naughty. There it is, right underneath there. We'll look at that soon. Can't see much else, because this is kind of This is kind of translucent. It's kind of blocking us a little bit, isn't it? Kind of see the base here. Uh-oh. Guess what? This is not a metal machine. This is made out of aluminum. It's an aluminum machine from Germany. Ah, the plot thickens. The plot is thickening. Yeah, it is. All right, let's keep going. And I say this all the time, but when you're using scissors on a machine like this, just angle them away a little bit as you're cutting so that you don't scratch the machine possibly. There we go. Now we can see more of it. Oh, and one of those ugly stickers that some of the sewing back places like to stick on there. Where is that from originally? Ah, from Ohio. Let me hold the camera real still and you should be able to see it. So if anyone wants to get major brownie points, and try calling this number, 614-263-5507. It's a number in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. And you don't have to make a crank call and say, hey, is your refrigerator running? You better go catch it. One of those old things like we used to do back in the day. I'm just curious if they're still in business. Sandler's Sewing Center. Sandler's Sewing Center. 614-263-5507. If anyone wants to call that, they were located on High Street in Columbus, Ohio. Anyone wants to call them and see if they're still in business. See if you get like this number has been disconnected, or if you get like a message. I'd just be curious. Because Columbus, Ohio is obviously a lot closer to this customer than Oconto, Wisconsin. So I'm just curious. Maybe they're out of business. Otherwise, Cathy may have decided to go back to these people because they obviously serviced this machine at some point, didn't they? Yeah, they did. Yeah. And obviously with Cathy's blessing, this puppy's coming off because it's ugly. Should be on the back of the machine or tucked away somewhere, right? Don't stick it on the front of our vintage machines. Don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh, looks like Roz has to leave. Bye, Roz. Oh, neat. You're going to a community health fair. So they're going to be doing pressure checks and other things like that. Very cool. Very, very nice. Very nice. It's always good. And I don't know if Roz is still tuned in, but it's always good when the doctor and the Mrs. Doctor can get together and join each other because doctors usually off somewhere, right? They see each other at night. They give each other a quick smooch. Wait, you missed her. They give each other a quick smooch, and then he's off again. Bye, dear. I'll see you tonight. Hopefully, if I don't have surgery. And he's like, oh, bye. And she's like, he's always leaving. He's always gone. Ah! So now Roz gets to give her hubby a smooch, and they could be at the health fair together. You know what I'm saying? All right. So enough of that. It's like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, but with a sewing twist, folks. In case you're new and you're saying, what's up with the little people? Ask one of the regulars. They'll explain it to you. Yeah, they will. All right. More classical music. More classical music. Okay. So Susie is saying, according to Google, it's still open. It's still open. We could do something really outrageous. I'm going to do something, guys, I'm going to do something really. All right. You already know I always operate on the edge, right? I'm always like pushing the limits and just like, whatever, let's just get it. I'm going to give them a call right now just for fun. I'm going to give them a call right now and see if they answer and just say, oh, yeah, I'm thinking about, bringing my machine, and I got this machine. It's got your sticker on it. Just let's see what happens. It may be kind of cool. Yeah. All right. Hold on. All right. Hold on. Yeah, this will be fun. Let me bring the camera over here, kind of across the machine. All right, hang on a second. Let's see what happens. All right, keypad. 1-614-263-5507. 1-614-263-5507. So you can see right there, that's the number I'm dialing right there. All right, let's see what happens. Here we go. It's ringing. It's ringing. It's still ringing.
Sorry to inform, Sandler Sewing Service not in business anymore. Thank you.
I'm sorry to hear that you're no longer in business. Just so you know, one of my friends was helping me to research you, and you're still showing on Google as being open. So, hope you folks are okay. And sorry to hear you're no longer in business. Take care. Thanks so much. Bye. So, here's the deal. That recorded message was kind of hard to understand. The gentleman sounded like he might have an Indian accent or something, but he indicated that they're no longer in business. So Sadler Sewing Center is showing on Google as in business, which is what Susie found, but they're no longer operating. So maybe Cathy checked that out and discovered that already. So there you go. Like I said, the group of people that do what I do is becoming smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. All right, give me just a second. I'm getting back to the correct screen, hopefully. Okay, there we go. Finally back to the screen. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, okay. So Susie's indicating maybe this person that we just heard his voice, maybe he's operating out of his home now. But I don't know. He he it would make sense if you have this number that was core to your business, right? This number right here. If you have this number that was core to your business, the 614 blah 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 blah, and you decided to get rid of the brick and mortar and you're going to operate out of your home, then put on the message, we're no longer operating Sadler's Sewing Center on High Street, but contact me at this number and I can still take care of you. He didn't do that, so I'm curious about that. And I believe what Susie is saying. Maybe he's operating out of his home now for whatever reason. But on the message, he just says, he sounded kind of sad, didn't he? He sounded sad to me. Sounded sad, and he goes, blah, 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 is no longer in business. Sorry. And that's it. Pretty much all he said. You can call the number yourself and hear the message. 614-263-5507. Yeah. It's always sad when a business goes out of business, isn't it? Yeah, it is. It's always sad. There's reasons. There's reasons. Yeah. Who knows? All right. So let's put on some more music. Get this rest of this packing material off. See what kind of Pfaff machine this is. Oh, thank you, Roz. It's a very sweet comment. I think my approach is very unique. I agree with Roz. I do it my own way, and I've developed this approach over many years. And I think my passion for the machines is what attracts a lot of people. And then when they see the evidence, you know, you can be passionate about something, you can be driven about something, you can be excited about something. But if the proof isn't in the pudding, if you don't all of a sudden see a machine that's identical to another machine you saw maybe on another channel, or maybe you saw a video of another machine doing a certain type of sewing, and then you see one of my machines that's gone through the workshop magic, and you see the level that it can sew at, that it can sew leather like this, you know, 14 to 16 ounces of leather, that it, when you listen to it, it's just whisper quiet. Where maybe on another video you saw, it's clanky or it's tinny sounding or something like that. Or you see a sew off that I do on one of the weird materials that we choose sometimes, maybe the bubblegum material. And maybe that person watching the video has exactly the same machine, same make, model, everything. And they've tried to sew a material that has a lot of nylon in it, and it's a disaster. And they've even taken it in to get it serviced. And maybe the service person there, wherever, has told them, your machine isn't capable of doing that type of sewing. It can't do it. And then they stumble across the Cow Country channel and they see their machine doing it. And they're like, what the heck? What's going on? It doesn't make any sense. But that's the greatness factor I talk about all the time. Any machine, whether it's recently you saw on the channel that really cool I think it was a brother, the $10,000 machine. Remember that one? It had the cool little, like almost like little joy grips on it for the long arm quilter, where they can work the machine back and forth like this, free motion type quilting, that sort of thing. Had the little buttons. I kind of pushed that button and it launched, and it was like. So, whether it's a $10,000 quilting machine that's a couple years old, or whether it's a machine like this one right here, my goal every single time a machine comes in the workshop, whether it's a referral from Joanne's over in Marinette, Wisconsin, or whether the customer drives here, whether they ship it here, whether they airdrop it in, my goal is to make that machine great. My goal is to make that machine better than the owner could have ever imagined. Maybe they've had that machine forever. And even back when they got it brand new, they were like, well, it's a great machine. When they get it back, I want them to reflect back to when they bought that machine brand new, maybe at a Singer sewing center back in the day. I've shown you pictures of those sewing centers that Singer had all over the place. And I want that customer to sit down with that machine and go, oh my gosh, it sews better than when I got it brand new. That's always the goal. That's always the goal, is to make it better than even when it left the factory. So I really appreciate Roz's comment, because I think I do kind of stand alone in the pack of people that do similar things to what I do. And it's not just because I'm a good dancer, okay? Don't go to the dance thing right away. Well, Scott, yeah, you're good at what you do, but you're a better dancer. I'm not bad, but I'm getting better at that too. And anyway, I'm being silly, of course, but anyway, let's take a closer look at this machine and see what we think. And let's find out what model it is. But before I show that to you, I'm going to be naughty again and show you some models that are kind of similar to this one, but a little bit different. Oh, thank you, Susie. That's a very sweet comment to make. Very, very sweet. Take care, Renee. Thanks for joining us. So here's the thing. Let's turn down our classical music just a little bit. These machines are going to be different as you look at them. This is going to be a Model 73, Model 77. These are going to be earlier than the one that we just unboxed, but they're going to have some of the similar features. One of the features that came with these early machines, even going all the way back to this Model 73, is on the rear of the presser foot lever. Kind of turn this around so you can see it. See, we have a metal presser foot lever right here on this machine. Similar metal presser foot lever on this machine. I'll give you a closer look at it. See that metal presser foot lever right here on this Model 77. And yes, these machines were made in Western Germany back in the day. These came out of Western Germany. So, but the cool thing about this model 77, again, these models are earlier than our model that we just unboxed here, is even back then, they had a wonderful needle up position where if you have the presser foot lever and you raise it to a certain height, it's going to raise the presser foot itself. But then if you click it a little bit further, it's going to cause that needle to pop up. Now, a lot of the machines now, they have a button you can push on the front for needle up. So when you get done sewing a line of stitches, that needle is always going to stop in the up position, or if you don't have it on, it's going to stop in the down position in the material, which a lot of people prefer. So you can then rotate, you can raise that presser foot lever and you can rotate that material. The needle's already down in the material. But either way, even these machines way back then in the late 1960s, early 1970s, they had that needle up feature. This one as well, this model 73. You can see how over the time, Pfaff kind of changed the way they presented things. They got this really cool nomenclature plate here that gives you the specs of the machine. Maybe kind of hard to see. There we go. Serial numbers right on there as well. Same thing on this machine over here. I'll show you that as well. Put the model number on the front and the back, made in Western Germany. Don't you love that finish too? Can you see that finish? It's almost like a glazed Godzilla type finish, but it's a lot flatter. It's a lot flatter Godzilla finish. It's not bumpy looking like some of the machines that you've seen on this channel and other places. It has that kind of a rough finish on it. It's not a polished, glossy finish. It's more of a flat finish on it. But this one has that flat kind of Godzilla finish, but it still has a nice little shine to it because of that glazing that they do on it. Beautiful, beautiful machine. Then this one is similar. It's got that same kind of data plate, that nomenclature plate on the back. And I don't know if you can see it in the shop, but these machines came with a real nice size motor. They came with a 0.8 amp motor. So when you look at these two outside machines, this model 77 made in West Germany, this model 73 made in West Germany, these machines came with a bigger motor than most of the Singer machines back in that time period. 0.8 versus most of the Singers would come featherweights 0.4, and then a lot of the other mid-range type Singers would come either with a 0.5, a 0.54, or a 0.6 amp motor. Some rare occasions, like the Singer 101, which was the predecessor to the Singer 201-2, the 101, which you've seen on this channel, I think I've shown the 101-4, that comes with a potted motor, the original potted style motor on the back of the machine. And that's a 0.7 amp motor. 0.7 or 0.8? 0.7, I believe. 0.7 is what most of them are. So these were workhorse machines that were lightweights. You could take them around, you could move them easily because they're aluminum, they're lightweight. But at the same time, they had a power plant in them that would drive these machines through pretty much any sewing at all. So let me move these out of the way. I just wanted to show you machines that were similar. These are all aluminum machines made in Western Germany, all aluminum machines. But this one has some other unique features on it that these other two don't, particularly this one. This one here, the model 77, this model 77 is going to be relegated to a straight stitch and a zigzag. You can see right over here, we got our stitch width regulator, we got our needle position, we've got our reverse, which is frozen right now, and we got our stitch length. But the point is, this model 77 was just a straight stitch zigzag machine. And then you went over to a machine like this model 73. It's going to be exactly the same as the 77 as far as what it can do, but they're going to take those controls from the front of the machine over here, and they're going to move some of them to the top. Here you can see we've got different zigzag setting options. We've got also stitch width on top. And that's what happens with the machines as they go through the different phases, is they'll move these controls around on the machine. Similar foot controllers, different than the one that we saw with the one that arrived today, but still effective nonetheless. Not quite as cool as Cathy's though. Not quite as cool. All right, so let me get these out of the way. I know we've been running a little bit longer. And we'll take a look at Cathy's machine before we wrap up this live stream. Similar data plate to the other models we just looked at. There's our presser foot lever that also will allow us to control the needle up. Interesting feature here where we're able to regulate upper tension from the faceplate area. There's other machines that also have a similar setup to this, but it's always fun to see something different, isn't it? Now, the unique thing that kind of sets this machine apart, that last was serviced out in Ohio at Sandler's Sewing Center that we called, and they're sadly out of business. It also has push button features on it that allow you to access different decorative and ornamental type stitching right here on top. With a push of the button, you can generate any of these stitches. Not right now because they don't work, but that's a technicality, because once we're done with it, they will work. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of a nice, convenient thing. You just go in there, instead of turning a bunch of dials and trying to set things, you just push a button and you're good to go. All right. Well, I won't spend any more time explaining this machine, because I'll do that during the live stream once the machine is done. But you can see the evolution within the Pfaff family, where they go from levers. It's kind of like Husqvarna. Husqvarna goes from levers to dials. As the feedback comes back from the customers that are going to buy those machines and buy the machines again in the future, they end up going down a road of making modifications to the layout of the machine and how you interact with it. So, are you curious what model this is? Has anyone guessed yet, looking at it up close and personal? And I know our flock has diminished quite a bit on this busy Saturday, but does anyone have a guess that's still in the live stream right now as to what model this might be? And then I'll pull that tape off and show you. Susie is saying a 1222. Now, there was a 1222 that Pfaff put out, and there was also a 1222E that would have had a couple of different changes on it. Any other guesses other than Susie's with a 1222? Susie had looked at some online, so she's looking at this machine now that it's fully revealed after we unboxed it. She's saying, I've seen this machine before, and I'm 99.999999999% sure that this is a 1222. Yeah. See if there's anyone else wants to guess. I don't see any other guessers. I don't see any other folks saying, yeah, I think Susie's right. They're kind of sitting back there and going, I don't know. So I'm just going to turn it one more time, kind of show you. show you from different angles so you can kind of see the machine a little bit more clearly. Oh, I just realized that I didn't cover the number on the back. So I'm sure Susie already knew, but on the back it shows the model number. So it's like, duh, Scott, you covered it on the front, but you didn't cover it on the back. But I probably didn't show the back before, so that's okay. I'll keep my thumb over it to be dramatic right now. But I think I showed the data plate on that side. Maybe I went past it already. I don't know. It's Saturday. It's Saturday. So Susie is absolutely a genius from Minnesota. Susie's a genius from Minnesota, and also courageous in stepping out there in the live chat and saying, I think this is what it is. Because with great risks come great rewards. And now everybody in future live streams is going to say, Scott's asking a question I'm not sure about right now. Susie's in the live chat. I might just phone a friend because Susie might know the answer. Of course, there's a lot of other smart people as well in live chats too, like my leadership team members. Well, Susie happens to be correct. As you can see, this is a Pfaff model 1222. And again, they made a 1222E also. That's going to have a couple of feature changes on it. And but between the 1222 and the 1222E, these are machines that are highly coveted and they're sought after. So Susie said she had seen some online. You don't always find these online. They're kind of a little bit hard to find sometimes, especially in this condition. You can see the patina on this machine is really pure. It's really a clean looking machine. Well taken care of. Very great condition. And it'll be fun to go through this machine, deal with the issues that it has, and then eventually be able to present this machine to you with its greatness, because that's what it's all about, right? It's all about greatness for these machines. Does anyone else? Oh, hey, Eddie. Welcome, Eddie. Does anyone else have a machine like this, like the 1222, or do you have a 1222 in your collection? I'd just be curious, because again, they're kind of like the 130-6s with the embroidery kit. You don't see these all the time. They're not readily out there like the, say, like a Singer 66 or a Singer 99K, or some of the other models that you've seen on this channel that are more common and they're more plentiful. This is one that you don't see all the time. So I'd just be curious if anyone else owns one. And you know what? Susie's making a great comment there. Look at her comment in the chat. And I've got chat replay on this as well. So if you're watching this after the live stream, as you're watching the live stream, because I chose chat replay when I set up this live stream, you'll be able to see the chat that's happening in real time as the video is playing later. And Susie makes a comment. The one she saw was having trouble as well. And that's pretty common among the 1222s and 1222Es because of the mechanics and the design of how the machine has to operate. Whenever you incorporate features like this that are great for the customer, these push buttons, but the simple act of pushing a button is a mechanical process for the machine. And over time, especially with some of the parts being plastic, it can create issues for the end user. So, but this one will eventually be working as it should, and maybe it will inspire others out there that stumble across other 1222s or 1222Es to say, you know what, I'm going to scoop this machine up. Maybe I'm even getting a deal on it, and I'm going to send it to the workshop so that Scott can get it working like he did with Cathy's machine from the great state of Missouri. So, all right, that's going to be the end of the live stream right now. I'm not going to plug this in right now or anything because I haven't had a chance to really make sure that it's safe to plug in. And I know that Cathy has had some challenges with it, but eventually you'll see this machine premiered. It'll pop up. I want to say that if you check the videos on this channel, which is almost 1,000 videos, that I may have done a machine like this many, many years ago. I don't remember. I'd love to say that I've got a photographic memory for every machine that I ever touched, but I don't. And so if you search on the channel, you might find a similar machine to Cathy's that I've already presented to you. And that way it'll kind of whet your appetite for when this one eventually goes underneath the bright lights and we run it through the paces. So God bless you guys. Thank you so much for your commitment to what we do here. I should say what I do, unless you want to count the boys over here as well. It's only me. And so, it's kind of a reminder that anyone that has sent a machine to the workshop, just remind yourself it's only me, and it's kind of a long road sometimes. You remember we just did that Wilcox and Gibbs that went back out to California. That machine was in the workshop over 2 years, and a big part of that was the pandemic and trying to get parts and everything. But if you send your machine in, just try to be patient as you can. Okay. All right. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a great Saturday. If you're chatting with someone right now, getting to know someone new, making a new friendship, the chat stays active even after I end the live stream. But I won't end the live stream until we play another song. And so you can just kind of do whatever and just enjoy yourselves. All right. Take care. And thank you again to Cathy from the great state of Missouri in sending this great 1222 into the workshop so I can inject some of that great workshop magic. And I always try to make the workshop magic when I go through some even real difficult restorations. I always try to make it.
That was easy.
I try to make it look easy, but it really isn't. But at any rate, thank you to everybody. Have a great weekend. God bless you. Thank you to Cathy again. And watch for other live streams. Again, I got a live stream I'll be doing this week, another unboxing for a machine out of the great state of Oregon. So, yep. All right, a little bit more music and we'll wrap this up. Until next time, everybody, and thank you again to Susie for helping Christina feel welcome by translating from English to Portuguese and back again. Take care, everybody. God bless.